Hello. Hello. Welcome back. It's Sunday. Let's see what we got here. Let me come down a little bit. Just waiting on my laptop to catch up. Hello, everybody. There we are. And we are live. Oh, that's close. Hello, Turner. All right. So welcome, everybody. Tonight's live, we had a community request to do a rainbow. So I did a little bit of prep work. Hello, Mason. Hello, Lori. Hello. So I did a little prep work, and I thought we would do a couple of different things. Hi, Kara. How are you? Thank you for liking the live. So I did a little prep work, and because my palettes, I guess you can't really see. Anyways, there are only 6 pots. So I decided that we would cut out one of the rainbow colors, which was indigo. And, yes, I'm doing good. I took my second quiz for my pediatric rotation, and I'm holding tight with a 90 in the class, so that's good. And then, let's see, it's week 9? Because we started week 9, so only a few more weeks to go. And then I will have only 1 semester left. I know, you know what though, Mason? I have never really had test anxiety, but we get like proctored from some website, and every time I have taken a test for the past 2 semesters, something has gone wrong. So, hi, Diamonds and Jewels, how are you? So now it's causing me like this test anxiety, which I don't normally get. Like today, it just shut off. And like, I don't want to like fail it. One time, the proctor like typed me a message saying, you need to look at the screen. Well, I like to look out the window and like regain my thoughts. Yeah, so it's very, now, a couple semesters ago is when they switched to this one, and ever since I've had nothing but issues, but I'll get there. But yeah, so slowly getting there, and slowly but surely through repetition and everything, like things are literally starting to sink in, and I'm like, wow, I actually remember that. Wow, I actually remember what antibiotic to give that patient. Oh, well, hopefully today, hi Angie, hello. Hopefully today's live will fix that for both of us. You know, we voted and we decided to do a rainbow, which is very different than anything I've ever done. I've never done a rainbow, so I did a little prep work, and like I said, because I only have 6 pots in my paint pots, I kicked indigo to the curb, but I think we'll be fine. So I picked, actually some of these I actually just got like new. I think these 3 are new. So Tuscan Red, Vivid Blue, and Poetic Plum. So I got those new. So I thought those would be pretty. Hi, Judy. Yes, we haven't even started. Yep. So 8 p.m. Eastern is when we usually start. So if you are new here, say hi in the chat. I appreciate you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and fill these pots, but feel free to drop a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And I'm going to fill up these paint pots. I'm not going to do any diluting. Hi, T. How are you? I'm just going to use the colors straight because we decided on a rainbow. So I'm going to use them the way they are. There was maybe a thought of doing like adding some gray, but let's just do a vibrant rainbow. And, but anyways, if you're new here, I'm Victoria. I am a nurse. And if you just came in, a nurse practitioner student who is closing in on the finish line with, what do I have? 3 weeks and one more semester. And so I'm super excited. But painting and doing dot art provides me some stress relief. So we decided to do a rainbow. We're going to do a rock, but I'm actually going to do a little practice on our paper here, just to kind of see if my thoughts are, because I've never done this before, guys. I've never done a rainbow. So at first I was thinking I would just do rings of, red, yellow, like in order. And then I thought, well, maybe we can do something a little different. So that's where we are. And then I thought we would use some gold, but I'm just going to add that in a palette. So did anybody see my story or my new reel about these little composition notepads I got from another store? So Judy, who is here, actually was quite excited. Oh, yes. We went ahead and did Tucson Red. The orange, I picked Jack-o'-lantern. Here, I'm going to put them here. Jack-o'-lantern. And then the yellow is cadmium yellow. The green was forest green. The blue is vivid blue. We're running out of room. Hang on, I'll pull up a little bit. Let's see if that's better. And I think we can get the last one. And then the last one is plum, poetic plum. Oh. You're welcome. I'll leave those up there for a second. Can you even see them though? There's a stupid glare. There's a glare on them. Hang on, let me rotate them a little. See if that helps. I don't know if that's any help. It says I shared the live. I haven't shared the live. Somebody shared it on my behalf. Thank you. I know the purple, I picked that up the other day, so I'm very excited. All right. So we're going to actually call that a violet, Angie, instead of purple. But, and then like I said, I'll use gold accents. So anyways, these are little, it was really something I just wanted to try, but I didn't want to go all out. I use this size notebook when I do my home infusions. Like I'll pull out a piece of paper and I'll write my patient's vitals down and like times and stuff like that. So for me, this is like something I'll use, but I actually spray painted this with, can't even tell you what I spray painted it with, but it was a satin. It's outside, so I can't even get the can. A satin finish spray paint. The only thing is this one didn't do it so bad, but there's overspray. Even though I put something in here, I couldn't find my painter's tape. I would painter's tape that. But the pages are fine. And then see, I spray painted the back tonight and then but if I had put painter's tape there, that wouldn't have happened. I've seen others do some sort of, I don't know what they do. I just use the spray paint. But anyways, I thought that was kind of fun. So, and it took the paint really well. Okay. All right. So I thought what I would do is just do a center dot, and then I want to see what it looks like when I section this off before we start on the stone. All I did was use my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 point stencil and just traced it on there. So let's see what we get. Like I said, I'm just going to do a large red dot in the center. If you're new here, let me know in the chat. I feel like most of the people that are here are kind of know what we're using and stuff. But if you have any questions about the tools, let me know in the chat, and then we can catch you up to speed. What I am using here are, it's an acrylic rod set. So what I was thinking I would do is I sectioned this off. So I sectioned it off. So I would go 1, the red, from here to here. Then pick 2 and go from here to here. And so on and so on. Again, not 100% sure how this is going to look because I've never done this before. But those of you that are painting along, I'm just going to pick the large end of the yellow and dot around this center dot. Again, I'm not sure how this is going to go. If anybody has any suggestions, feel free to let me know. It's going to be kind of awkward not really being able to turn the... So that would be it. Okay? So I'm going to stop there. And I might as well just pop these all open because I feel like... And then close them as I go. So we'll see. So then the yellow, I'm going to do a couple segments. We'll see what happens. So it looks like about 3 dots are going to be it. And then I'll close that, keep it. All right, and then same thing. Oop. So obviously did you switch the orange and yellow on purpose? Uh-oh. No, I did not. Your host for tonight made a mistake, Angie. Oops. But we're going to go with it because I'm not. I mean, we're going to go with it. I mean, maybe when I do the stone, we just have to remember that this is 1, 3, and 2. This is kind of like, I just wanted to see what would happen, but it was an oops. I'm allowed. I'm allowed. But I really wasn't sure how I would do this. So I wanted to kind of see if I wanted to go around or just do a whole row. So I'm thinking because of time, I would probably just do a whole row. So let's continue with that. Well, we already agreed that we're going to switch to 3 because that would be next. And I have it written here for my notes. Red, orange, yellow. So we did that. So let's go ahead and go all the way around. Because when I do the stones, because we're going to end up doing this on a stone. When I do the stones, I change size. So I feel like going around in the circle would be fine. This looks where you do a few colors at a time, a little elementary, like primary color. I don't know, not loving it. So let's just see what we get when we go. I think this is what we'll do. We'll go all the way around in order. Need to go get a Sharpie so I don't do that. What did everybody do this weekend? What did we do? We went fishing one day. It was so hot. Like, our water is so low and it is so hot that we did go fishing one afternoon, which was nice. It was nice, but and then yesterday it was so hot. We decided to just kind of get some stuff at one of the stores that we like to shop at and had dinner. We had sushi at our favorite place. And yeah, so thank you for sharing the live, Ken. I think that's what I'll do. I'll do on the stone, because this is a stone, because I actually marked it out because I wasn't really sure what we were going to do. I think I'm going to do one more row, but I'm going to go up to the large end of the white. I just want to kind of get a better idea. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll just go in circle, which will make it look a little bit more like a rainbow than what I was originally thinking. I think this will be good. Does anybody have any suggestions? Does somebody want to add anything? So this is one idea another community member who popped in one night suggested we could do. If you want to practice and you don't want to necessarily practice on one of the wood rounds, this paper is 110-pound paper. And they suggested, tracing out the stencil and then just painting on here. I was like, that is a great idea. The only thing is you won't be able to erase your mistakes like as if you were painting on a wood round. That's the only caveat. 1, 2, let's see. So sometimes when I get to the end, I'll do stuff like that. And probably could just get away with doing 2 dots. We're just going to make believe that. Okay. Help my friend teach 2. Oh, fun. Oh, I love fused glass, Judy. That is so much. I used to do that too. That's so much fun. I had a kiln. I made the glass beads. I did all of that. All right. Some comments in this live were filtered. Thank you for the heart, me, simply me. That's fun. Do you do that like local in your community? Oh, stupid thing. I got to keep an eye on the whole puzzle piece thing. Okay, so this is the stencil I was saying that I use to trace out my guide marks. What did I say this is? 12.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, 12 point. Thank you for the heart, me. Thank you for the follow, Pam Leatherman. Pam Leatherman. She does. I do not know anything about glassweed. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes when you cook meat, you can cook it too long. It came out so good. I was so sad he's not here. He's working tonight, but I told him he's missing out. It was so good. So good. She does it. I don't know anything about glass. We did it at church this weekend. Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I mean, like we did a lot of experimenting, I feel like, in class, but it was so fun. Let me get a Sharpie so that I don't screw that up anymore. And this, you can do this too. You just take a Sharpie. So it's one. And we're only using 6 instead of the normal 7 colors because I only have 6 pots. Ooh, I don't think we've ever done that. We have done stuffed backstrap before, which was really good. But, okay, so if you're new here, say hello in the chat so that I know that you might be new and have any questions. I'm going to come in a little closer here so we can see. Sorry about that. That might be too close. All right. So if you're new here, thank you for being here. I paint these stones. I call them love stones. Thank you for the heart made, Judy. They're very loosely heart shaped. You have to use your imagination. But when you do paint them, you can paint them and give them a little bit more exaggerated heart. But guys, I want to share this. Did I? Wait, I did, even after that. God. 3, 2. Oh my God, even after all that, I still did it wrong. But, yeah, I know, golly. Look at this stone I found. Okay, is this not like heart-shaped? Like, and it's domed and flat on this side. I was like, oh, and it's heavy. I'm like, that is going in my pack. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It's got the V, it's, right? Anyway, so that's a good one. This one's a little more, use your imagination. But I did find some really nice ones, so that was exciting. All right. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and get started, but if you're new here, let's just go over tools real quick. We do tend to use the same tools in all mandala or dot art. I have to be careful what I call it because what we're going to do tonight is technically, I would say, dot art. A mandala would be more of where you add, where we add design elements, which this is one we finished Thursday night. Right? Yeah, Thursday night. And, a lot of mandalas have flower style patterns in them. But tonight we're going to simply do variations of different size dots. Okay? So I'm calling tonight dot art. I call these love stones. If you stick around, the community usually votes. Well, not usually. I let them vote on what we're going to do the next live. So you never know what they're going to vote on. But these are the dotting tools we use, and these are used, doesn't matter what size, small, medium, or large. But all of the tools or the points on this side are all the same size dot. Okay? On this side, they range from tiny to larger. Okay? So that's the tool set that I use. Also in this live, I will use acrylic rods as we get into like different size dots and stuff like that. So these are also usually sold as a set. I try to let you guys know what I'm using. If I don't and you're curious, you just got to stop me and ask. Ooh, yay. Oh boy. Okay, no worries. We can work and, unwind. That's fun, Judy. Like I said, I have that stuff in my cart, so that's cool. That's cool. And I think you can do that, what we're doing tonight on that. It's not going to be any. Normally I do this freestyle. I don't put any guide marks on there. These chalk marks are guide marks I used using the stencil. If you're new here, thank you for the follow, SB. If you're new here and you would like a list of like supplies, beginner supplies, there should be an orange box, the bottom left-hand corner. And it'll ask you for your email. I don't need your email. Just let me know you're interested in the supply list and I can get you that. Okay, so let's get started. I feel like I covered everything. Yes. No, tonight, normally we make custom palettes, but can't really customize. Well, I customized the rainbow palette to what I had, but ooh, it's a little big. I don't know if I want to go that big yet. Yeah, we're gonna start. So I'm gonna start with the purple acrylic rod for the center dot. Now, when you're doing dots, you want enough paint. Okay, if you don't, you're not gonna get a nice mounded center dot. Sometimes you gotta tap, tap, tap. And then, I don't know if y'all can see that. We had a little, maybe a bubble or something kind of do its thing over on the edge there. You can just take a small tool and just round that out a little bit. I don't, as you guys know, my regulars know, I don't get all too crazy about mistakes and imperfections because it's a dot art for beginners. Beginners make mistakes. But hang on a minute, I gotta look at it a little bit closer. There's a little bit of a glare. There we go. So when you're working with a stone, they're irregular. So don't push too hard because it's irregular. I have a fan blowing on me and it's already starting to dry the dot. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so 2. Gonna go to 2, the orange. And I am going to, so I'm going to do the large end of the yellow. Let me get this is my way. And let me get so when you work with the stones, sometimes they're a little irregular, like, they're not flat. So I just use a folded up t-shirt rag, and then I can kind of turn it around. It just makes it a little easier. Judy, remind me what product you use when you do your poured stones. I know you mentioned it before. And then how long does it take for them to fully, I guess the word cure? Is that the right word? Is it possible for you to move the little brown rock that's to the right? Tom, to the right. Is it possible the little brown block? Oh. Okay. All right, good. As long as I got what you, no worries. As long as I got what you needed, that's good. Sometimes it takes a little while, like when I'm live, because I'm watching my laptop and there's a delay. So then I'm like, oh, wait, there's certain things in the way. So, oh, was it this? Yeah, this thing is still in the way. You use Perfect Cast. Okay, that would make sense. I looked into doing it and I have the items in my cart, but I just I love doing these stones. Okay. As long as you are seeing what you need, that's all. Like I said, I've been painting on TikTok for a little while, but I still feel like I struggle with a couple of things. I literally have a cord in front of my face so that my phone doesn't die. All right. So I'm going to pause here a minute because as you see, we've got to kind of figure out how many dots are going to fit in here. Sometimes it's easier for me if I just do smaller dots to space them, and then I can just make them a little bigger. But I gotta hold it, I think. All right, and they ran together, so they're too big. So let's show you how to fix a mistake. Thank you for the follow, Violets. All right, you need a Q-tip, and you're going to wet it. And let me come down a little bit more because I feel like it's a little far away. All right. And when you go in, you're going to You're going to go in, but you're going to go careful, and you're going to roll the Q-tip towards you. Carefully. That was pretty good. That's one of the benefits to using this base coat. Thank you for the wink wink. Thank you for the follow, Tom. Juliana. Are you Juliana? Or are you Tom? Are you Tom and Juliana? Thank you, Judy. I appreciate you. But that's one of the perks to using a multi-surface satin is it allows you to remove your mistakes way. I'm Tom and I'm a Tom. Okay. I just making sure. I was calling you Tom, but I want to make sure I call you the right thing. Cool. Thank you for the follow, Tammy. So anyways, that's one of the reasons I use that that particular multi-surface paint, because it does allow you to remove mistakes pretty easily. Okay. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and just plan on 2. And they might be a little bit further spaced apart, but it works, right? Okay. And by the time you're done, nobody's going to notice that unless you tell them that. Okay. And then moving up in size, I'm going to go to the large end of the white tool. And I'm going to do 3. Number 3, yellow. And I am not doing any specific spacing. I'm just putting a dot down. My goal is that my paint dots are about the same size. They're about the same distance apart. They're not touching. We're just doing dot art. It's fun. Is it 3 or 6 inch? Judy, what size did you pour? 6. You might need to go up in size. Yes, ma'am. Did you do a large center dot? Because you can. That's hilarious. Thank you for the follow, Carrie. So if you decide to use like a river rock, this is from one of the creeks I fish. Just know the surface is irregular. Using the multi-surface paint does actually help fill in some of the divots. But you may, like some of these dots are kind of following the divots, so they're not perfect. But again, we don't stress here. We just go with what's happening. I feel like there are a lot of really good mandala artists, and you're going to learn a lot. And I tell the community all the time, you'll probably outgrow me. But I'm here to teach beginner stuff. All right, so again, I'm in the same predicament. So 1, 2. We're just going to do 2. I'm not going to be able to fit 3 in there. Same thing. Not worried about it. Yeah, so 6 is definitely bigger, but just... Hi, Cece. Oh, well, congratulations to your friends. You haven't missed a whole lot. And Judy will be painting on her 6-inch stone until, I don't know when. Thank you, Judy. I love you too. But very cool. Where did you have to go, Cece? Tomorrow. If you're new here, there are 70 something of you here. If you're new here, say hi in the chat. This is a very friendly community. We answer everybody's questions. I've been wanting to let you know. I'm talking too much. No, so Tom, welcome. Second, this community will let you know that you ask whatever you need because it is a beginner's, and I want to say class, but I'm not necessarily a teacher. I mean, I'm here to show you. A teacher to me is somebody who will grow you, but my goal here is to paint with you because for me, this is like a stress relief from my academics and I enjoy painting. So even though I paint large mandalas and I do other things, this is a time for me to just paint. I know you went to Indianapolis. Okay. Maybe not 10,000, Judy, but yeah. So that's my goal is to show you the basics. And Tom, if you stick around, we do a lot of different things in here. Like I said, we go over how to make a custom palette, how to do these designs, all of the things, but very beginner related. And that's why people will come in and out of here. And that's fine because my goal, I have to get through. You just have to be here. That's it. So I teach how to do the custom palettes, how to start very basic, nothing fancy. I actually started doing the stones because it's what I had, and I knew that I could finish it in a live. And it's very beginner related. They come out pretty. And since then, we've kind of grown. And like sometimes we just do different things. And Judy, I just went to the large end of the blue if you're still following along. But this is my very first time ever doing a rainbow palette. Ever. So the community challenges me too, which I thoroughly enjoy. But it gets everybody on the, kind of, I get to do the experiment and they get to watch, I guess. That I haven't done a rainbow? I like my ombre palettes. I like that, that being able to do that. Those might be touching. Well, that's because you're a teacher. Rainbows are pretty. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I like the colors. It's just not something I've ever done. So if you're new here, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Like I said, everybody's pretty friendly here. If I miss your question, somebody is surely to help you out. Oh, boy. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. One. Ugh. Hi from Melbourne. Melbourne, like in Australia, Jacob? Or Jocks? Jocks. Jacks. Jacks. Yes, and that's Australia. Welcome. Because, there's a Melbourne, Florida, so I'm not. Cool. Perth. Very cool. So, Australia has been on my bucket list to travel to since I was in my 20s. But I don't want to just go there as a tourist. I know that sounds silly. I mean, I'll be a tourist, but I fish, so I really want to do Australia, if that makes sense. I don't want to just go to Sydney. I don't just want to do this. I don't just want to do that. Yes, Cece. So you missed this part. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I thought it would be cool to segment off the stone. I did, but I didn't like it. I did not like it. So they're really not there for any purpose at all. I'm not using them. But let me see if I don't know if I can get 3 in there. It's so stressful. 1. All right, we're going to try. Hopefully they don't run together. So I always pause when I get into that last segment because of that. If you fish, Google Exmouth fish. Okay. Yeah, I have done a lot of research, but I again, I know I need some finances to make this happen because I'll be there a while. I would like to literally do all of the. I mean, at one time I wanted a backpack, and then I found out how many poisonous snakes and all the other stuff you guys have there, and I'm like, not happening. But fishing. Exmouth fishing. I will look it up. Exmouth. Is it Exmouth? Exmouth. I mean, I'm being quite literal. Thank you for the follow, Wendy. Okay, so 4 or 5. Thank you for liking the live too, everybody. I appreciate you. We're at 77. And we're at 7.3. Okay, so I'm switching, Judy. Now I'm at the small acrylic rod. Thank you for the follow. And you can be this type of artist where you fit everything in, every other and all that stuff. I don't do any of that because I like to talk, and then I'm not thinking. I don't want to have to think. So I'm going to go up in size and just start a new row. Now, when we do the small mandalas, there's a little bit more that goes into it. We did start a pattern book. Community's still learning a lot of stuff. So there's really, they're kind of limited on the design patterns that they can use. Many larger mandalas use brush strokes. We're not quite there, and even though they like to watch me do brush strokes, we're not quite there yet. So we're trying to stick to just using the dotting tools, standard dotting tools. Nothing other than something that's a circle. Now, if you don't want to go out and buy dotting tools and you have acrylic paint, thank you for sharing the live. You can simply use toothpicks, Q-tips, the end of a paintbrush, the end of a pencil, anything that's going to make a dot. You don't have to go out and buy tools. That's one of my main things is, now the only difference is if you're following along and trying to do a pattern, Your pattern and my pattern may be different sizes. Who cares? Who cares? We're practicing, we're painting, we're enjoying ourselves, we're decompressing, we're doing all the things. So every time you make a dot, you need to go in that paint. If you don't, like if you try to do this dot and this dot, you're not getting the same size dots. So every time you want a dot, you're going back in for more paint. You can tap it and make it bigger. Oh my God, there's a fly flying around. You used your husband. Oh my goodness. I mean, when I say anything that makes a dot, I don't know that I included that, but I will have to, going forward when we're talking about what you can use, I'm going to add that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I did want to, and do you guys think a metallic gold for like micro dots? Or are we thinking, I have metallic red now, I have metallic blue. Like I went shopping. If you didn't see that post, I have these 3 new metallics. So if we don't think gold, do we want to do red, blue, or berry? Oh, there you go. That's cool. I know. But I like the whole gold in the rainbow theory. Yeah, gold. But, I mean, we don't have to use just one. I mean, we can use 2. I'm actually thinking I'd like to I'm going to keep the blue out. I don't know why. But, all right. So let's show our new friends what a micro dot looks like when we come in. And again, because I've never done a rainbow, I have 0 idea what this is going to look like. I'm learning myself right now. Okay. I'm going to go with and I feel like some of these dots are blending into the background. I'm going to start with the small end of the pink tool. I'm not 100% sure it will work. It might be too small. So a micro dot is simply you dip your paint and you go in between the dots you just made. You do 1, 2. So the outer dot is slightly bigger and it just adds an extra level of dimension and color. Use all of them. Sometimes that happens. I'm like, I'm doing what I want. But yeah, I have never owned any like of the like rich colored metallics, so I'm excited about using those. I think we'll try and incorporate either the red or the blue, maybe the plum, maybe all of them. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I mean, right now I like the gold because it is kind of just that subtle color. So in this case, it's go in the paint and then you do your 2. I will say that learning and practicing getting your dots a consistent size is important, okay? Yes, I didn't use a stencil. Yes, I didn't make concentric rings, which I do when I'm doing, there's a big ridge there. When I'm doing a round mandala, which I'll show you around here in a second. But when I do the stones, I really do it freehand. Like I said, these white lines are usually never here, but using my center dot, I'm able to kind of keep going, and it usually works out pretty good. And I like the way, ooh, Cece, yeah. No, of course, nope, you can use white too. Yep. And Tom, that's kind of what the goal here is that you are actually in turn challenging yourself. Okay, because I mean, I do literally paint, like, here, let me show, because you're new here, so let me show you kind of how I paint. Like, if somebody were to ask me, like, my colors and how I paint, this is me. Like, more of a subtle, muted, neutrals. But do I like the pop of color? The little bling? Absolutely. But what the goal here is that, like Cece's like a metallic dot on top. That's what the person who taught me, that's what she drew out of me. Not because she was like, what do you think? And what do you think? What do you think? But because she encouraged, and like that creativity. So that's the real goal here, is that, like, again, I joke and say you'll outgrow me. You should. Because then you're, exploring your own path. Like, so I'll, here, Tom. So this is, we did the stone, I don't know, long time ago, but I was using, thank you for the follow, Randy. I was using a multi-surface paint, and it was giving me grief. It was super thick, and I've never used it on a stone before, but I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just do white micro dots. I know. And it ended up just the little bit of white, and I did white micro dots around here. It reminds me of like a monarch butterfly. Okay, so you mold it, you can demold it in 45 minutes, and then you have to let it sit. So you can paint it in 24 hours? Like, it's fully cured that quick? Maybe that's why, perfect cast sounds like, okay. But anyway, so Tom, that's what I mean by, like, I was like, I don't know what to use in there. I didn't want to use gold. I didn't want to use any more of the color, and I just picked white, and, so that's the best part about this form of art, is it's core, it's fundamental, but it can be way more. All right, I am excited to use this color. This is this color. All right, I'm going to use the, puzzle piece time. Hold on. This one is that the Eiffel Tower? Might have been the Eiffel Tower. Okay. All right. So this one was Poetic Plum. All right. If you ever buy acrylic rods, know that sometimes the ends may be chipped on one end. I can't remember which one it is. Let me see. I think this is okay. So I'm using the medium clear rod, Judy, if you're still sizing up with me. Never mind. That's the name of the purple. Yeah, Poetic Plum. Okay. Those two got a little close, but we're gonna keep going. Am I in frame? Yep, okay. I swear, I don't think our AC has gone off once today. And I have it on almost, like, I keep it high, like 78, and it is just running and running and running and running. It's crazy. Pretty. I love this. You know, I'm going to have to do something with this color now. This is pretty. Okay, so I'm going to push my luck around here. When I get into that V, I'm not going to do anything fancy, but I'm going to try and do the dots a little smaller so they don't totally come out of the circle there. There we go. And I do have, you probably can't see it, but there's a big ridge there. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. Turn the stone a certain way. That's good enough. There we go. It is, right? I think it's very pretty purple. That's why I bought it. But I also bought, where is it? This color too. French mauve. I bought, well, again, if you saw my post, I think I put it to my, I don't know what I did, stories or whatever. Yeah, I had an armful. So now after we get to a certain size, like, I will probably do one more ring of this same size dotting tool. I probably won't go up any more sizes, and then start to come down in size. All right, and then let me look at this. So we're gonna get two in here, but kind of space them out, make them a little bit bigger. Because otherwise, and let's add a little bit to this one. There we go. So, and then we'll do micro dots in there, which when you do the micro dots, it actually kind of hides some of that extra spacing. I know. Love that color with frosted plum. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes. Absolutely. Very nice. And I think you could probably make frosted plum with this if you added like gray to it. Okay, so we'll go. So what do you guys think? Should I go from the plum backwards, finishing with red? Or should I start with red? No, should I start with red again, or should I go backwards? Thank you for liking the live. I'm just thinking? What do you think? Like go from plum to blue and like backwards? Backwards. Sounds good to me. So we'll do another row of the middle size backwards. Okay. We got all backwards. We're all backwards in here. That sounds good to me. So I'm just going to use the middle size rod, clear rod. Judy, though, you can probably go up in size until you feel like you've reached like over halfway and then start to go back down in size. You're going to share this with me too, right, Judy? Because, you know, so anybody that paints, or does any project or anything like that, I ask that you guys, if you want, you don't have to, share with me because I really like to see. Okay. I really like to see what you guys do. It's serious. It from like not in a way that like, I mean, I'm serious. I like to, and not everybody posts their work to their page. So I get that. Those of you that are new, I also have started posting the live in its entirety without edits so that you can go back and like if you like say you missed a live or something like that, we did a two-parter because when we do the 6-inch rounds, it's usually over 2 nights because I paint we start around 8 p.m. Eastern and then we paint until usually 10:30. Just kind of depends on the questions, what we're doing, where we're at. But I started posting those. And if you have any questions about getting to those, to see them, to maybe you know you want to mix the custom palette or whatever, again, message me through that orange box with the white arrow and I will get you that information. I feel like some people have been on there. All right. So remember what I do. I get close with that last dot, but I leave space. Okay. Sometimes I'll go off. It just kind of depends on how much space I have. And I'll show you how I finish that off. So now over here, there's not a lot of space in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come probably about here. Okay? And then I'll show you guys how I finish those when I run out of room. And this is why I love doing this shaped stone, because it is perfectly imperfect. If that makes sense. I'm actually going to try and let's see what this looks like. Okay. Just doing a little bit smaller dot. It's kind of going off the black, but not terribly. And then I'll just go back and resume my normal. So when you do your dot, if you want a slightly smaller one to fit in, just don't push and tap so much paint off. Do you use I do sometimes top dot. Yes. It's hard to do a lot of top dots with acrylics on this live when we do the stones because most of it's still wet. Sometimes I'll use a dimensional paint because that way it doesn't like get muddied up in the wet dot. I don't know if I might have something we can do a top dot with in a dimensional paint. I have to look. But yeah, they usually don't, like the center dot here is probably dry enough I could do that, but sometimes you think it's dry and it's really not, and then you go in with your top dot too soon and it makes a mess. I'm going to hold this here because there's quite a glare. Yeah, let's do one more. There we go. Hi, friend. How are you? Listen, you are the foraging king, and anybody who doesn't go foraging with you is just, they don't know. That is crazy you found that many chanterelles. You mean on this one here, on the center dot? So we're going to go backwards. So instead of like starting back with red after the purple, we're going backwards. So we're going to go like the blue, green, yellow, orange, and then finish up with red. No. Do you mean? No. Through the whole, do you mean? Yeah, so I'll do, let me think about this here. Through the whole, the reason why I'm asking, are you going to use red? It will be, but all the way out here probably. But, yes. So, which is a good point, right? Because it'll be back here and it'll be a small amount. So maybe that's why we will incorporate the red metallic, because, correct, I feel like we could use a little more red. It's like losing that rainbow effect. Agreed. Am I catching on, Tom? Yeah, I feel like it's lost a little bit of that rainbow. So that's a good point. So let me see. Let's touch on that topic, because I think you are right. It's starting to look no longer a rainbow. And yeah, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to open up this metallic red. Oh, it doesn't really look like red. Hang on, let me shake it. But Tom, remember, I've never done a rainbow before. So this is a learning experience for me. I don't know, guys. I don't know, that doesn't look red enough for me. I think, yes. And I mean, I just can't do top dotting because they're wet. And I don't really have a red. But let's do micro dots with the regular red paint, because that red metallic. Speaking of that, let's do something real quick. So let's do something real quick, guys. So we're going to resort back to our black paper. Okay, remember how we use this for different things? So let me move some stuff around. So let's while we're waiting, let's do some the red metallic, because I've never used the red metallic before. So let's see what it looks like. I'm going to put it out and let it dry. And then I'm also going to do the purple and the blue, because again, I've never used them before. I'm just curious now that we're chatting about it, how they're going to dry, because that looks pink. That doesn't look red at all. So let's see what this looks like. I think this is a pretty color. Ooh, I like that color. Ooh. Yeah. I'm blessing the first. Okay. All right, and this is the berry that I bought, which I thought it would be pretty as well. Okay, so we'll see what those, yeah, we'll see what those dry like. And they should be, dry in a little bit. We'll see how they dry. But in the meantime, we will do the red micro dots, because like I said, it's just not dry enough to do. Yeah, Tracy, I know. It's just the problem is I don't think anything is dry enough in this outer area where I would use the red. And that's the thing with top dots, is you can do them. It's just you risk. This is still wet. Like you can't see it, but it's still wet. So when these are dry, they dry very matte. And I forgot I had to finish this. So when let me get the right size tool. I'm going to use the white, the large end of the white. When I have a space where the dots don't come all the way to the edge, I do what's called a walking dot. So I'll do a dot and just walk, and then I'll meet it in the middle. Okay. Same thing up here. It's kind of hard to see. There's actually a little space there. I'm just going to put a dot there, just so we fill that in. And then here, it just needs a 2. Okay. So then you can just fill that in. But let's get some red in there. So I'm going to use the small end of the yellow and the red. And I'm just going to do the micro dots. There is a fly literally just buzzing, landing in my hair. Little does it know it's prolonging things because I'm painting. Hi, if you're new here, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Ask questions, please ask questions. That is what this is. This is a dot art for beginners live. That's what we do. We ask questions. If I don't answer right away, somebody that's here may. It's a very friendly, open community. We kind of, actually, you guys kind of run the show. All my challenges lately. All right. What do we think? I think that added a yeah, because I have a light on. I know. You don't. So, Roxanne is what just came to mind. So, when I was in high school, I got caught skipping class with a friend of mine, and that's the song we were singing in the hallway, which is why we got caught skipping class. All right, I can't laugh and do a micro dot at the same time. Okay, my dot's getting too big. You got to wipe your tool off. After a little while, sometimes the paint accumulates and you just need to wipe it off. So now looking back, everybody, originally we're like, yeah, go backwards. Looking back, should we have gone back to red? Or are we just using this as a learning experience? And we're going to love it either way. Hang on, these are kind of tiny in here. Tiny. There we go. This is a Tuscan red. Tuscan red. Right. And again, because I've never done it this way, and I know I keep saying that, but I still think it's pretty, even though it's not that absolute rainbow. It still gives that vibe. I would have used yellow with the blue. Agreed. I think that would have worked too. Yep. It is. That's the center dot red. So it's going to dry like a little more muted. Okay, so we're up to green, right? Okay, so now we're going to start to go back down in size. So I'm going to use the small clear acrylic rod. Judy, what did you do? Did you do backwards or did you do the same way did you start back with red? I feel like you did what we were doing. I'm going to leave that. And then after this, the metallic that I put on the book should be dry enough we can get an idea, and then maybe we can use some of those. Thank you for liking the live, everybody. Appreciate that. That's one thing that gets us new friends. And Yeah, I don't trust top datting them yet. They're still a little too wet. I could do the red. The red might be able to. Hi, thank you for the heart me, Nina. Okay, cool. There you go. You went rogue. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Like I said, looking back now, I would have probably gone back to the red and back down. But so like I said, I'll finish this row with the green and then see how those metallics are drying and see what we think there. Thank you for being here, Nina. How are you? So same thing. I just take a smaller tool and add those little dots, kind of a walking dot, to finish that edge where we couldn't come out all the way with the same size dot. Just like that. All right, let's look at the metallics and see. Hi, Shannon. How are you? Oh, I guess it does dry pretty red. I mean, it's still kind of pink, but let me see. I guess it does kind of dry red. Good. How are you? It's been a bit. Yeah, so I guess it is redder than it looked. So yeah. Should we? I think that blue is still. Yeah, it's still too wet. Can't do anything with that. All right, I'm going to keep working around. 3. I'm going to use the large end of the green. So we'll, actually, let's see. I have to be careful because green, I want to get that red in here. Yep, so I'm going to have to do that. So let's see what these get. Yeah. So when I get back to this dotting tool, the large green, let me clean those off. I don't like the way those went on. So remember what I said about the Q-tip? Hi, Mason. You disappeared. You're going to go in and you're going to roll the Q-tip towards you. Okay? Now this area I'm able to, I don't know, wow, that dried fast. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going back in there with the same dots, but maybe not go all the way that way. So we're going to do 1. No, we need more paint. Don't be chintzy. You need more paint. There we go. So So those are walking dots. When you keep going with the amount of paint that is on your tool, but it slowly makes your dot a little smaller. So it fills in that space like that. No, what's going on? I mean, you don't have to share, but I mean, always thinking about you. You're always first here, checking on everybody. We're always here for you. Thank you for sharing the live, Angela. I appreciate that. So some of what I'm doing tonight and talking about may not make total sense because this is your first live with us. But I promise you a lot of it will make sense. Oh my God, I thought I screwed the colors up. Yeah, I agree, Tracy. Like, I was just thinking the same thing. Matt. Yeah, I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, it no longer looks like we lost track of what we were doing, that it was like all intentional. I agree. But I'm having to remember this color combination over here. Okay. So I'm going to stick with the green because I've got to get, I want to finish with red on this rim, but I have a lot of space over here, right? So we're going to have to, you'll see how I do this. This is really normal on these stones. Nothing is ever perfect. I always end up running out of room on one side. My goal for that center dot is simply that it's in the center of that V. But I always anticipate painting asymmetrically, which I feel like really is what makes this a cool painting canvas. And again, just walking dots around the edge. And then I'll come over here. God, that AC is so loud. Okay. So again, I'm going to start about here and walk my dots, just kind of gauging it. It is. It is. I mean, I do follow somebody who paints like pictures and I'm like, wow, I just do dots of paint. But I mean, I'm partial. Like, I like the way they come out. I feel like it's a great way to practice dots, make something pretty. It doesn't take forever. You can make it your own. And again, there's nothing cookie cutter about it. You don't have to like fall into any, anything. No, oh, Tracy, no, I do not. Sometimes we vote. I always have the community vote on, actually, it's 9:30. We usually vote on a color palette for the next live. I am live every Sunday through Thursday this week. Let me think. Yes, this week will be a normal week. Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern till about 10:30ish. It just depends on what's happening. But we paint on 6-inch rounds. These we paint in like 2 parts. So this is like 2 live sessions. Sometimes we really move along and we get close to finishing one, but this outer rim takes a little while. But no, so we paint 6-inch rounds. Well, primarily because instead of ordering 4-inch rounds, I ordered 6-inch rounds. So I have a lot of 6-inch rounds. So it's either a stone or a 6-inch round. Sometimes we will do like practice patterns in our pattern book. But right now we're kind of limited on the patterns because of the size of work we can do. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate that. So yeah, it's about the time in the live where we start to talk about what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm going to, in this case, I'm just going to go with the blue because I want it to be, and it's okay if it goes off the edge of the paint. I just want there to be red seen. So it's okay. But yeah, so now's the time that we would talk about like what palette we're going to work on tomorrow, what we're going to do. Sometimes people want to do the stones. Sometimes they want to work on the rounds. But I let the community kind of vote on it. It doesn't matter to me either way. If you want to learn how to do a round and learn how to do the guide marks and how it all starts, then we can do that. But it's up to you guys. I just show up. Can you show the other few you had in this? Oh, sure. Well, here. So let me show these. Okay, so what I do with these is I actually add a magnet to the back. Okay. Oh, yay! Fantastic. So this was a red color palette we custom made. Okay, and I showed them how to do the design. And yes, believe it or not, hello, the Dotting Nana, how are you? Hi, Lisa. No worries. We're here. We're always here. Well, I say always, but this is, except for this, I did do a brush stroke here. All of this is beginner.art. Good, good. I took my quiz today, my second quiz, and that was a relief. But I only have, what do we say? It's week 9. 3 more weeks left in this semester, and then I have 1 semester left. But I put magnets on it, so on the back, so you can put them on your fridge or whatever. But this is another one we did. I know. I can't believe I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's been very stressful, but I'm getting there. But I'm done with clinical for peds, and then I start my next rotation mid-August. So let's see. I don't think these are not ones we did. These aren't ones that we did in the live. These are ones I did like early on. Yeah, this is like one of my beginner sizes for this. This like 6.5. I think that's 6.5. Hang on a minute. Yep, that's 6.5. So this is 6. So you can see the difference. Oh, I love using mirrors. But the difference between, so the reason that I recommend 4-inch rounds for people that are practicing is because you can you can finish one of these. Like you can, but I ordered the wrong size. We would literally be practicing with this size, but I just progressed you guys to little bigger patterns quickly. Again, I just made a mistake when I ordered them. Kind of like, I forget who it is. Somebody ordered 6.5 and they meant to order 6. And that just happens. If you're not paying attention when you're ordering in the drop down, that's what happens. But here's a stone we did with that same this was the same red. Okay, so that custom red palette is the same red we used on this stone. So, like I said, we kind of vote, and I mean, majority wins. I mean, it's not like official votes, but you know, how many hours does I feel like it so these stones will go back outside, so I let them cure for 2 weeks, but these are usually dry within a few hours. It's kind of hot and humid here, so I feel like they're taking a little bit longer to dry than normal. But they're usually dry. Like the center dot, I did, I don't know, maybe hour and 20 minutes ago, and that's dry. What's not dry are these outer rings. So all of this is dry. But to fully let it cure, I believe it's 2 weeks. And again, these go outside. So I want them fully cured before they go outside. Yeah. Thank you for the follow. I don't. No, I use this. I either use this or I spray paint with a clear. And this is indoor, outdoor. But again, yeah, again, this cures for 2 weeks. And this I would let cure for 2 weeks too. So my thing is, I don't sell any of my work. So these stones actually will go back to, well, not the exact creek that I got them from, but they will go back to a creek. There is a church by one of the places that I fish that has like a really pretty church and old church and cemetery. And there's quite a few children buried there that like died like in the early 1900s. So the goal is that I've already placed some on their graves, but ultimately once these are cured and I get back out there, they'll go on there. How long they'll last, I mean, it's acrylic paint, but hopefully they'll last. But yes, I also paint on skulls, and when I do the skulls, I absolutely use a UV clear satin spray paint. I actually like using spray paint because you don't get any brush marks. Like, for instance, like I painted the, can this stone be made into a magnet? Some of them maybe. These are kind of big and heavy. I don't know that a magnet, you'd have to get a really good magnet. But if you use you could do these. This is a smaller one. You could put a magnet on the back. Let me show you. So this magnet is what? It's an inch magnet. So yeah, you could easily put that magnet on the back of that stone. and that would stay. What is going on with the back of that? Whatever. But yeah, these are too heavy. But yeah, if you pick up smaller ones, I don't see why you couldn't do that. Ow. That magnet had a mind of its own. Oh my gosh. So those are really strong magnets. The first magnets I bought they were not very, but anyways, I spray painted this. Thank you for the heart, me. It's one of those little notebook thingamadobobbers, cheap. I wanted to try it. This is from a place I can't say the name live. This is way too heavy. A magnet, my magnets, even though those are great magnets, that would not hold that up. Oh. Well, I posted these. I really haven't posted too much about them because I don't really want to make anybody upset. I actually had 2 deer buck skulls that I had painted, and my granddaughter wanted them for her graduation gift. So, but this is a beaver. I have a friend that traps nuisance beavers, and I just did a paisley design on it, nothing fancy. I do have one of my deer skulls that I'm getting ready to paint, but I haven't started yet. But this is another one. It is. I know. But if you do any research, beavers do a lot of damage. But again, there is certain instances where, I hunt deer, so the deer that I have are from my, we eat them, So, but yeah, the beaver was I have quite a few of them, but thank you, Judy. I know, like I said, I try to be very respectful of the community because not everybody is into that. And I appreciate you asking, but I also I try to be, I do try to be respectful of that. But that is my livelihood. I do fish, I do hunt. So, but yeah, so I won't paint those live because they're just, it's not, thank you, I appreciate that. It's just not like something I can just sit there and do. Now, if we grow as a community and like we are moving along and say, there's several of you that want to do a bigger piece, and you want to learn brush strokes, we can get into a bigger piece. I think these are 10-inch rounds. Yeah, this is a 10-inch round. Again, real thin. It's just basically a, thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing, that was just accessible to me. He does, as a matter of fact, I have a friend who I have 2 friends that are nuisance beaver, and they absolutely wreak havoc. If you have a pond or anything, they wreak havoc on it. And you know what? I've actually found cow skulls when I was out in Wyoming. There's a lot of free range animals out there, and the coyotes just, people don't realize how much damage a coyote can do to a cow. It's crazy. I mean, a cow is like how much bigger, but it's crazy. But I appreciate that, Matt, Marianne. But anyway, so I open the door and leave it open for the community as we grow. I say as we grow because we're still a baby community. And that, at some point people may want to do you could use it as a coaster or a table runner. Yeah. And you mean like something like this? Phoenix, what are we still? Our Phoenix, are we talking about? Around or? Yeah, so these people will coat and use as coasters. But they're also real pretty, like if you put them in the plate stands, if that's what you mean. I've actually done some, I did one for a lady where I stayed. I was a travel nurse for some time, and I coated it with resin, and it really gave it a really nice sheen, and it gave it a little bit more weight, so then it set really nice in that plate thing. Okay, so let me see. God. What do you think, guys? Should we, all right. I'm thinking orange, yellow, green to finish that edge off. Keep it bright. Orange, yellow, green. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah. I think so. Keep that edge in that rainbow. I'll probably have to hold it. That's too big, I think. I have to go down. So we'll use the large end of the white. Yeah, we'll want to keep it bright. Keep that rainbow-ish going. Does anybody have any questions? You guys have asked really good questions too. Orange. Ooh. Orange, yellow. Did I do it wrong again? No. Like, wait. I don't know. We got to come up with a plan. We got to come up with a plan. We don't have a plan yet, so what are we doing tomorrow, guys? Do we want to do a round? Do we want to do another rock? Do we want to do a custom palette? What do we want to do? I think we have quite a few new people here, so nobody really knows what we should do. Just because I agree. Let's do gold. I agree with that. Or do we want to? Yeah, let's just do gold and stick with that. And then maybe we can. Oh, wow. That dried. It's weird. Let's see. Oh my God, that fly just landed in my hair. Okay. Let's talk about, should I top dot the red with the metallic and see what happens? Oh my God, that is a huge fly. What the heck? Wow. So you want to do like a rainbow? Okay. Okay. We can do that. And then we'll start from like the basics. I'll have it painted black and then we'll do the guide marks and we'll start from basics. That sounds fine. But I think what I'm going to do though is I am actually going to top dot with that metallic if I can get it to top dot. Now that it's been sitting there for a little bit, I don't know. I don't know this paint, this metallic. So I'm going to do that. Okay. And we'll see how that, it already got kind of thick. So let's spread it around a little bit. All right, that should be good for that. There we go. All right, and I think, should I top dot? Yeah, we can go over swooshes. Yeah, so if we're gonna do a round, we'll go over, what do we want to do? Well, we definitely want to highlight the rainbow effect. So let's see. I think a rainbow would be really pretty if we kind of use this same pattern where we do the walking dots in various colors and then we can accent with the swooshes. I think that this pattern, I mean, actually any of them really, but I think this is a good one to do the walking dots and then we'll have the swooshes here and then more swooshes here. You like it? I like it. Thank you for the follow, Crystal. But yeah, we can go over, and if you want, we can spend a little time in our pattern books too. That's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little more of the metallic blue, and actually, gosh, I'm gonna try and top dot the purple as opposed to the blue. I really like this metallic color. I just have to put fresh in there. I think it's going to look really pretty on that because this is a little bit brighter. I just got to find the right size tool. I need to go a little bigger. Okay, so I'm going to use the medium clear rod. Okay. And what top dotting does is it just adds a layer of dimension. Yeah. It's pretty. Now, I don't know what it's gonna, I'm experimenting a lot on this piece, people. Experiment. Yeah. Because I feel like that color like almost blended in like completely with the black. So I was like, I think metallic on that one would be good. A top dot. Bring that back out a little bit. Right? A row of blue too. Not sure because we did the micro dots on both the blues, and I'm afraid that if I do that, it may be too much. But I was thinking of that. I almost don't I feel like, who was it? Tracy said she would have used yellow where the blue is, or where I put the red micro dots, and I think I agree with her. Like, I feel like that would have just been a total, but you know what? I can do that. Those are dry, so we can go over those. Let's do that. And then let's see what we have when we get that done. I think that'll really brighten that section up, because remember we were like, it just kind of needs something. But I agree. I think yellow would have been, oops, hang on. There we go. A better option. Yeah, so let's try and go over that. I think I used the small end of the yellow. As a matter of fact, I missed a spot. Two. There we go. So yeah, so now I can just go over those reds best I can. What do you guys think? Better? Oh, I don't know if you guys can really see. Better with the yellow, right? Yep. All right. I agree. So that wasn't supposed to be like that, but it was. It ended up being like that. And what a difference, right? Yep. Good call, Tracy. Good call. So when I get in here, though, these are tiny, so hang on a minute. This is a little bit more challenging because they're small. And I don't want to make the dot way bigger, but okay. Come in. Here we go. Well, close enough. Okay. What do we think? I feel like we need gold. I don't know why. I feel like we need gold somewhere. I feel like it needs a little bling. The purple's pretty. It's bringing something. Do we need gold? Let's see. Yeah, right? Yep, made a huge difference. Or do we just leave it the way it is? Sometimes you get to a point where you're like, okay, do I want, I almost, what do you guys think? Top dot other small red, like over here? I could try that. Thank you, Angela. Can't see the green. Yeah, I agree. You can't really see the green, and I do agree with that. Did I buy green metallic? I feel like I did all kinds of metallics, but I got this green. That's not gonna look. Do you think I should use that green? It'll brighten it up. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, so like I said, let's look and see what this looks like out of the container here. I do. Let's see what that green is. I have that. I do have that. So we have, oops. I have that, and I have that. And then, yeah, other than that, I mean, I have gold and pink, but I don't think we would need those. So what do you think? The metallic or the bliss drop on the green dots? Blue and green? Bliss, you think the green on the green? I don't know. It's kind of bright. I hope there's enough in here. All right. You like green? Everybody's green? All right. And I want to make sure I understand. You want these and these. Both metallic micro in between the first. Maybe a metallic micro in between the first yellow and green. We could try that. Let's do the bliss drops real quick. Or I say real quick. Let's get those in there and see what we got. Let me just try and get these tiny ones there. Really tiny. Oh, hang on. So you gotta be careful with them because you can get an air pocket. Hang on, I don't even know if I'm in frame still. Hang on, let me get back in frame. So you got to try and tiny. Okay. because you want to keep the tip down. Otherwise, you might get a little air pocket in there. That's happened, and then you get a big old spit on what you're doing. So now these will dry like a metallic dimensional. So like it'll have a little kind of a dome. You can kind of see it kind of settling in there. It won't not necessarily have like a peak on it, but it'll dome. There we go. Oh, no, I get more. These, Joanna's coloring, these are Bliss Drops, and they're from Deserted Bliss. She's here on TikTok. Yeah, it just definitely adds, yeah, because the other, like you said, they were kind of blending in there too. But Deserted Bliss, you're welcome. They're one of my favorite. I like them. They just come in real handy to have, to do fun little things with. Hang on, I gotta hold it. There's two little ones. Trying to make sure you guys are in frame and still. Okay, so we got that in there. Oh. Very different, Catherine, from anything I've ever done. This is way different. I have never done, ever, a rainbow pattern. Never. Okay. What are we thinking? I'm thinking I personally wouldn't do any more. I mean, now that we kind of, like, I was going to add more gold, but now that we added the metallic and the top, I don't think I would, I really don't think I would do any more. Hi, Dee. How are you? Thank you. I think it came out pretty good. You want blue metallic. Very good. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I feel like now going back, had we not done the micro dots here or here, yes, I would say yes, let's top dot with the metallic. I feel like now that the top dots are there, it might be too much. Yeah, I just feel like we have added every color and every came out pretty though, guys. Look at that group effort. So I'll show you to y'all tomorrow. I mean, maybe when it's dry, we might look at it a little differently, but I think doing that was a good idea. Uh-oh, a couple of them are running together. Let me see if I can fix that with... Sometimes that happens, not often. I think the temperature is a little wonky in the house, so. All right. Okay, so tomorrow we'll have way more opportunity to use the metallic colors because we're going to do a 6-inch round. So we'll have way more opportunity to do walking dots in metallic or top dots or swooshes. We'll have way more opportunity. I feel like, we're limited in the stone kind of area because, we're simply just doing dots. But when you're doing a design pattern, you have way more opportunity to do different things. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to leave the green out too. So we have the red, the gold, the blue, and the green, and the metallic. And I'll keep those regular paints out too. Okay. Yeah, me too. So now so if you're going to paint along tomorrow, I highly recommend that you paint your wood, Hang on a minute. Can't talk when I'm bent over. Paint your wood. Okay. If you can, paint it tonight, in the morning, first thing, because you don't want to paint it right before we go live because it's going to be really hard for you to get your chalk marks off later. So they'll go on normal, but when you try to erase them, they will not come off. Yes, thank you for the follow, D. Yes, you have a great night too, Kara. Okay, so these are the 4 metallics that I grabbed. Ice blue. Okay, and then this is festive green. Okay, and then festive red. I just grabbed what I thought was pretty. You're welcome, Kara. Thank you for being here. Yeah, do it so that it has all day to dry, Cece. I mean, it takes a few hours. The thing is if you do it right before, it may look dry, but it really won't be, so... and then berry, and then this is Glorious Gold, which I use for everything. Perfect. Yeah, so then yes, if you show up tomorrow night, you'll see start to finish us do a 6-inch round, and then we will paint with a rainbow palette again. Again, something I've never done. The blue was ice blue. I that one is so pretty to me. That one is pretty. And then obviously I'll get those guide marks off, but it's got to dry before. And again, like I said, I don't normally put guide marks on my rocks, but yes, wood. Yep. It's a wood round. They come like this, 6-inch, relatively inexpensive. Okay. And it gets painted with this paint. Hold. You mean the primary colors, like the rainbow colors? Hang on, let me slide this. Thank you for the follow, Virginia. Yeah, not always. I used to get everything there, but not always anymore. Thank you for the heart, me. You mean the wood rounds, correct, Joanne? I would, you're more likely to get them from the jungle. It's so dumb that you gotta say that in this platform. All right. Is this what you meant? So, but if you want, you can, did you message me for the supply list? If you message me for the supply list, you'll have the information there. No, the paints used. Yeah, so you want these. Hang on, let me put that there and raise that up so you can. You should be able to snapshot it too if you want. I don't know. There's kind of a glare, so that's part of the problem. Oh, the bliss drops. Oh, boy. Oh. Well, I used Seguro on that one. Yeah, again, if you get into this, it's really fun to have the dimensional paints. So many paints that we're talking about. I don't know which one is which. So anyways, there is our little... Now that metallic red is not really as metallic as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's adding a little sheen to the center dot, but not like I thought it was going to. Well, I'm glad you found us in our tiny little community here on TikTok. Yeah, so we're here usually Sunday through Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, until about whenever we finish. Like tomorrow we'll probably be here till at least 10:30, just because the rounds take a little bit more effort. Yes, it did. It did actually add a little bit. There are some nights. The reason I do that is because I have a patient that I take care of on Friday. I do home infusions. So Fridays is really rough. And then Saturdays I take the day to go fish and stuff like that. Right, Lisa? I think it did. I think you guys really helped me get through that, because I would not honestly ever have... I would have stopped painting, because I would not really have known, because that's not my normal color palette. It's just not my norm. But I appreciate you guys for like pushing me. Good night. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of your comments and interaction. It's been great. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Me too, Lisa. Like I said, now that we're done, I can I can look at it and be like, "Oh, it's so pretty." It is. It is. I mean, you guys have definitely done that for for me. But yeah, so some nights I do home infusions, and then there'll be a week in August that will have company, and I am not painting live while she is here because it would be annoying. Good night, Judy. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And if anybody paints anything, again, please share with me. You can share with me privately. Send me a picture, and I love to see what everybody does. Good night, Dee. Thank you again for being here. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. The travel and late night party. I bet. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. I'm going to sign off too. All right, everybody. You guys have a great night. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the follows and all of the love. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night.